Hello, board gamers and collectors. Today we're going to be talking about Go for Broke. I'm sure you've seen a few videos on here on YouTube of different versions of this game. I believe it started in the 1960s by a company called Seklo and Ryder. And yeah, it was like 1965 that they published the first one. And then there's been like so many different editions and versions since then. So this is the version with the cool center console. So they made a 1985 version with the four spinners acting as the casino, the racetracks, the roulette wheel, and the fruit machine, which is also part of the casino. Not to mention the stock market. They're all spinners, which is kind of boring, I guess. I wanted this version in particular because it has a different feature than the rest, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But this is from Parker Brothers, but it's not really sold in the UK. This was specifically geared towards out of state, different country. I think it was made in Ireland, this version. But this is also strange because it has the Hasbro logo, and this one's from 2004. Lucky enough, I was able to find one brand new out of nowhere. A seller that was in the US was selling it for, I forget how much exactly, but it was kind of pricey. I mean, it was brand new and sealed, so I was very happy to find it, and I had no problem paying for it because I've been looking for this everywhere. Like I said, it's really hard to find. It's very rare. But yeah, I'm gonna show you the back of the box in a minute, and I'm gonna get this board out, get it set up so you can get a look at it, and I'll explain more about the little differences in this version. All right, so I'm gonna pause this for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back again, and this is the back of the box. As you can see, it has the Hasbro logo, but also the Parker logo. So you could probably look for this under Parker Games Go for Broke or Parker Brothers Go for Broke 2004. And it says made in Ireland, distributed United Kingdom by Hasbro, yada yada yada. So it was also distributed in Australia, New Zealand, basically everything that's out of the country. So that's why it's so hard to find this version. Matt Wilkins also reviewed Go for Broke, and that was the 1985 version that I also wanted. That was like a big board and had the center console. That's probably why I want that version too. Not only because of the art, but because it might be a bigger board. But I'm very happy with this one, and I wanted this one because there was an inclusion that I mentioned before. The same mechanics are you have to lose $1 million. The only theme with this one is apparently your Uncle Edward has died. It says, get your hands on Uncle's riches. Uncle Edward has pooped his clogs and his £1 billion fortune is up for grabs. To get hold of this inheritance, you must accept the challenge set in Uncle's will. Spend £1 million faster than any other player. The race is on to spend as much money as you can, spend wildly, splash out on life's luxuries, gamble at the casino, and try your luck at the races. Just make sure you end up penniless. The first to lose £1 million wins the game and Uncle Edward's fortune. So, as you know, they use pounds instead of US dollars over in the UK. So, here's a great family playing a board game. Looks like all exciting and fun, you know, having a good time with each other. I love the artwork on this, of course, and it's all the way throughout the board that I have set up here. Here you have the stock exchange corner space. There you go. And the Porsche with some pretty blonde. Like, I love the artwork of this. For the horse races. Then you have your races space. It comes with like little red dice, which are smaller than usual and they're rounded, which I love. The Go for Broke symbol. Got your champagne and glasses. And then you got the snake eyes corner where basically the amount of the double dice that you roll times 5,000. If you roll the 1, you get 80,000. If you roll double 1, snake eyes, you get $200,000. So you gotta be careful with that. Here goes the casino. So basically you would put $20,000 down to play the casino just like you would on the other board games. Now there's another version that has the center console that looks like this. You got your fruit machine. And this one has a little metal ball indicator so that when you spin it, it looks like a real Russian roulette wheel. And let's say you bet on black, which you would have to pay $50,000 if you wanted to lose that amount. But if you win and it lands on black, you get 80,000 pounds in return. You could do sets of numbers and pay 20,000 pounds. So you would basically put it in this space here, your champagne bottle. So I do 13 to 24, and then, you know, based on what you spin, that's basically what you'll win or lose depending on the amount of money. So I would have lost since I spent a 17. And I like this whole like thing here. You could just literally turn it with your finger. It's just really cool. And then 5,000 pounds for betting on a single number, and you could win 150,000 pounds. So you got to be careful with that. That's the highest you could win for a single number. And you got your lottery space. It looks like a cute manor mansion with like Lion King looking statues out front. And every time you pass the lottery, you have to buy a lottery ticket and put 5,000 pounds. If you actually land on this red space, you win everything that's in this tray. If it's empty, you could put 50,000 pounds down when you pass, or even when you land and it's empty, you could drop 50,000 pounds on there. Other than that, there's other spaces that tell you you could buy a lottery ticket for 50,000 pounds, or even spaces that send you automatically to the lottery. Then there's spaces where you could buy shares. So here's the shares over here. This came with the board as well. So it's a Steel Corporation, which is steel stock. Bright Sparks Electricity, which has a light bulb in the center. And then you have your Crude Brothers Oil, which is another stock you could purchase. So if you go into the stock exchange, you basically spin this wheel. So if it's in the black, you have to pay, or you receive 10,000 pounds. If it's in the red, you basically lose 10,000 pounds. So that's another way to lose your money depending on how many stocks you get. If you land on this blue dividend one, it's like 10,000 pounds for each share you own. So you definitely don't want to spend that one. And this is the cool feature that was added on that makes this one so special and different to me. You spin this dial and there's little horseshoes. So depending on the horseshoes and the number you bet on, the track, so you could bet between 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you could bet down 5,000 to 50,000 pounds maximum. And depending on what track you use, you also come with your own colored horse. So I have a red one here with a little racer on the top. Really cool looking, very detailed. I love these pieces. So you could put it on track 4, but if I win, depending on how many horseshoes I go, you keep spinning this until you find out how many spaces you go. So let's say this one I have 2 horseshoes if I land on 4. So I move this little horse guy twice. And if the other person bet on 2, he doesn't have to move any because 2 is blank. So depending on what this black pointer lands on within the boundary of that yellow line, so it wouldn't be that one, it would be this one actually. that's what you have to move. And whoever reaches the finish line first, which is way over here, wins the racetrack and wins that amount. So it's whatever times the bet for that number, these are the amounts you'd have to pay. So it can be really fun. And like, I like the fact that you have to keep spinning this to find out who wins in the race. It's really cool. So that sets it apart, and that's the reason why I really wanted this version, because yeah, the horse edition, you also come with your own hotels like the rest of them do. I believe each of them have that feature, at least the ones with the center console. There's another one from 1992 that I believe the board game museum guy on here did a review on, and that's from like the Western Publishing Company, which also publishes like the golden board games like Shrieks and Creeks and Girl Talk, and even some of the Barbie games are golden, and their Western Publishing Company is the company name or behind Golden. So I guess it's part of the same company. I'm not sure, but I get kind of confused. I think Hasbro brought out Parker Brothers and Milton Bradley years ago, because a lot of their games are now have Hasbro on them. So, for instance, this one from 2004, it's Hasbro. So there was that. There was something else I wanted to tell you that I forget to mention. But this is the strange part. These are the bills that the game came with. So there's 5,000 pounds each, and it comes in red. There's like a orangey yellowish color, and it's 10,000 pounds. Now in it says Milton Bradley, even though it's a Parker Brothers game. So I'm just like, what's that about? Like, clearly it's the same company, but I thought that was interesting. So then you have the green 50,000 pounds, and then you have the blue and 100,000 pounds. So I didn't like these bills because they're so small. I mean, they're kind of cool. I like the border and the color. I just think that they're way too small, and you can't really tell because, you know, everything looks bigger on camera. So I replaced the bills with the 1985 Seklo and Ryder version, which I love the artwork to that one too. So these are much bigger and more pronounced, and the borders are more detailed printed. Of course, it's still paper money, and it could easily get crumpled, but you know, I'm really particular about certain things, so I had to replace the money, and it fits perfectly in the tray. Like, I have to drop 5,000 pounds there. Like, that was another thing. Like, it just doesn't take up too much space to put that in there. Of course, the other bills it comes with fits perfectly, but it's all good. Not a necessary thing, but then, you know, yet again, I'm particular about certain things, and I really like the component money to that board game, so I ended up replacing it and finding this whole stack of bills. Of course, I took the 1,000 out, which is included in the Seklo and Ryder 1985 version. But yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you. And it's a really fun game. Like, I really enjoy it. I like the little champagne bottles, of course. These are in red. I believe the one from 1985 for Milton Bradley, they're green with different colored labels. But you always start off in like these little color block corners to start the game. And it's always clockwise, of course. So you'd have to roll to go first, roll the dice, see who goes first, and then go from there. And of course, there's various spaces that tell you whether or not you'll receive money or you'll have to spend money. They'll say little funny things like deck out the limo with a diamond disco ball, pay 150,000 pounds. Um, there's another one here. It's like this cool little funny joke. Pay 25,000 pounds for annual supply of silk toilet paper. Like, just little silly things like that, which I thought were really fun. Um, to sort of just add to the humor of the game. Your finger painting wins Turner Prize, receive 50,000 pounds. So that's not a good one because you know, in the course of this game, you want to lose your money. And of course, you have the blue hotel spaces. Hotel, the bouncing check. I love that. So you have to pay 150,000 pounds. And then if another person lands on a hotel space you brought, like let's say you brought that and you put your hotel there. So they basically owe you 15,000 pounds for the suite. So there's that downfall. And this is the most expensive one. So Hotel Dollarmites Lodge. And the price is 200,000 pounds for that. But the suite is 20,000 pounds. Hotel Grand Prix. The Moscow ripoff. Hotel Costa Plenty. Just a few names of the various hotels you can purchase and buy. But yeah, overall, this is one of my favorite games this year that I ended up getting back in January, and it's definitely made my top 5 list. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's definitely a family game and very similar to the Game of Life and Monopoly, except in reverse because you have to lose all your money in order to win. So that concept was really different to me and new to me, considering the games that I play. And the spinners kind of remind me of the Game of Life a little bit, specifically the racetrack one. The Russian roulette wheel is definitely different from all the other versions as well. So yeah, this is the only version I believe you can get the horses. The other version that published that one it's Sababa Toy Company, I believe, and then they call that one the Game of Vice, but it's still Go for Broke. And that one came out, I think it came after this version, but I don't like it. I own it, and it comes with the horses and all, but the tracks, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it has the same spinning wheel as the 1985 version with just the horse. And there's no reason for the track to be there, so therefore there's no reason for that to even have the horses. But I do like your playing pieces. I think it's like a private jet and like a Corvette and different types of automobiles. It's really cool, but yeah, I like this version the most, I think. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope you liked this video. I wanted to do a little something different, but I wanted to show you one of my favorite games, and this one's different. That's another reason why I wanted to make this video, because this hasn't been shown yet or vlogged or cataloged. So just to let you guys know, there's yet another version of Go for Broke. There's so many versions of this game. So I hope you have a good, safe day, and take care of yourselves. Hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.